Last week was our first playoff game, and my plaque psoriasis was so itchy under all my gear. Sometimes just thinking about scratching could take me out of the moment. And then my doctor told me I could get clearer skin with a pill called Otezla.
Otezla apremilast is a prescription medicine used to treat adult patients with plaque psoriasis for whom phototherapy or systemic therapy is appropriate. Otezla can help you get clearer skin after just 4 months.
Okay, ready for the next game. Talking to my doctor about a pill was a total game changer.
Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing or swallowing, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, throat, or arms. Severe diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss can happen. Tell your doctor if any of these occur and if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla. Call 1-844-4-OTEZLA or visit Otezla.com for prescribing info about cost, and more.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
I think the next step is 24/7 talking real money. We'll just go on every station in the Seattle area. We'll always be there for you, anytime, day or night.
Wow, that is a commitment that I am unwilling to make. But you, my friend, since you are locked up in your studio 90 hours a week or whatever it is anyway, I guess it'd be fine for you. That wouldn't be a problem.
I never go anywhere.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm always here.
That's not true, because you go to Chick-fil-A and you go to and Panera Bread every once in a while when you're living large. So,
but most of my life is spent staring at this microphone right here in front of me.
That's true.
Trying to help people like you deal with the money that you either have or want to have, and trying to help you get more of it without getting ripped off. And that's why we have this magical phone number for you, 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. What makes the number magical, you ask?
Well, I didn't, but I will go with the response anyway.
Well, it's because of the answers you get. This is where you get the straight scoop on how money works for you and the things you should not be doing. Like?
How long a list? How much do I have the entire week to do this? I mean, the list is long.
Like Ponzi schemes.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I just watched one last night. Yeah, that's a good start. Like alternative.
Your invest helped build all my business.
You cannot go wrong with this man. He never stops.
We went in. We all get rich.
I heard that people are investing money with you.
Yes, come see me after show.
Yeah, that's the king of the Polka King.
The Polka King.
Yeah.
I love that.
So I watched the American Greed version.
I was watching the trailer during the break.
That's the movie. Yeah, you're watching there with
It's funny.
Jack Black. Yeah.
And
it's funny, except when it's your $5 million that disappears.
Oh, I agree.
Hilarious.
I agree. The money is funny, but my gosh, what this guy did to people is just appalling. And it's and here's the thing: you are likely to fall prey to something like this. Very smart people, not just polka listeners, but really smart people.
Do you know where polka originated, by the way? This I did not know until I watched this last night.
On the Lawrence Welk Show. No, I haven't.
I thought it came from, like, Central Europe. No, polka originated here in the United States. What did I know? And then
it went to Central Europe or Eastern Europe?
Well, some version of it, yeah. It's based on kind of the music of Poland, but the polka actually is native to America. That's what they said.
I had no idea.
I know. You learn something new every day.
You learn on Talking Real Money.
Totally
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, anyway, give us a call. 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255.
I thought you were going to start the show and talk about the miserable week that the stock markets had.
I was, but I was so cheered up by Jack Black.
Polka, polka, polka.
Great job out there, Lonnie. We did real good monies today. Oh, nice and thick.
Nice and thick.
All right. You're talking about his envelope.
Okay.
That was his pay envelope.
Yeah, he took in a lot of money. He just failed to pay a lot of it back. So
Him and so many others.
No, I know.
It's just
we had a caller last hour, the hour before, who got into a deal. That got into a deal because she was going to make 10% in 1 year. Mm-hmm. Guaranteed. Mm-hmm.
So she cashed out her T. Rowe Price IRA
and put it into a self-directed
Put it into
IRA.
a house flipper.
Yeah, I don't like self-directed IRAs because it's the Wild West. They could put your money in anything, and there's no rules. By the way, the Polka King was not licensed to sell securities and was, of course.
Really? You think
really,
not?
Of course, and thought, oh, well, and by the way, they warned him twice before they told him, now we're going to charge you. They told him, stop doing this. Oh, yeah, no problem. But he needed the money. But the point is, the problem always begins, you mentioned this, you alluded to this last hour. It's a little bit about greed, but it's also a little bit about that G word that people hear, guaranteed. She heard 10% guaranteed. Sure, sign me up for that. But the problem is there is nothing that is 10% guaranteed.
The problem is generally with the word guarantee. Because what is actually guaranteed? You can argue that nothing is guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, there's even it used to be pensions, right?
They were guaranteed.
Yeah, there's even a piece in the Wall Street Journal this week talking about these states, Kentucky, West Virginia, Oklahoma, and Arizona, where they're rolling back teacher pensions to people already retired.
Because they
don't have the
put
money.
enough money in. They made lousy assumptions. They made overly optimistic assumptions.
And they put the money in high-priced investments. They paid a lot of people. There were people on people that were managing all this, that were all had their hand in the cookie jar, and it ended up the cookie jar got smaller and smaller because the fees were poor, because they had alternative investments, all kinds of you-know-what. And the teachers ended up with a short end of the stick. Not fair.
No, not fair, but that's what happens is that you are the one who ends up with the short end of the stick almost every time until you, and folks, you have a responsibility to yourself to stop believing the lies. If you hear somebody tell you something is guaranteed, you must immediately think, I bet they're lying. Because most of the time they are. For example, this is the killer investment of the 21st century. It is the biggest lie ever told. That is that you can get the returns of the stock market with none of the risk. How many of you have been told that? I guarantee a lot of you, if you listen to talk radio, because they're all over the place saying it, and it's a lie. Any of you folks who sell those things, if you think I am being too hard on you, I want you to call right now. Call 855-935-TALK. Call me and tell me why you believe you're telling the truth when you say to investors, oh yeah, you can have the return of the stock market with none of the risk. I am calling you out.
We just had someone call here last week that had been pitched that exact product, and we had to tell them, yeah, that does not make sense. You cannot get that. There is no wealth without risk, as they say. So it's important thing to know. Anytime you're investing, there is no big G word, Don, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So if you have been told that you're going to get this high return, if you have been told that you're going to get something absolutely guaranteed, before you get involved, see, this is the thing I wish you would do. You know we're here now, okay? We're here every Saturday. You know we're around for you 24/7.
He's down on his knees, folks. Come on, take advantage of this.
Please call before you do these dumb things. Okay? I hate that you call after the fact and you go, well, I got into this indexed annuity and now I really want to get out and yet they're going to charge me a 12% surrender charge to get out. Yeah, that's the way they get paid.
Ignore those and ignore anybody who says polka. 12% guaranteed. Bucks. You're going to watch that movie now, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, because it looks cute.
Yeah.
It's got a bunch of SNL people in it.
Yeah, it was. I remember it was. I think it came out last fall. I remember the review in the Journal about it. It was
probably
mildly
pretty terrible.
Humorous. Yeah.
Do you know who? I mean, it was made by Netflix.
Yeah,
it's a Netflix-made movie.
Yeah.
It's
I looked it up. I could still
We
watch
used to call these, in the old days, we used to call these made-for-TV movies.
Yeah, right. Now you can remember that.
Now they're made for Netflix movies.
And nobody paid attention to made-for-TV movies.
No, except my wife. She used to.
Oh, pardon me. I'm
like watching those Hallmarky things.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and they all end up on the Hallmark Channel years later, and you look at them and you go,
I don't have enough Kleenex for those.
That was some bad acting. What does it have to do with money? Not a darn thing, folks. Yeah. Not a darn thing.
By the way, you don't have to
get to
you don't have to just call us about Ponzi schemes. You can call us about anything financially related. Yeah, money-oriented.
And speaking of money, yes. Last week was the lost week on Wall Street.
Not the last week, the lost week.
Lost week.
Okay.
And I know that because of the stupid headlines in so much of the financial media that you are concerned. And our job is to find a way to put what happened last week to the stock market in perspective. Tom, tell them what happened.
Well, I mean,
I can't bring myself to do it.
Because you put yourself in the middle of it. By the way, when I picked up the Wall Street Journal today, the first two words, the big headline, stocks sink to worst week. I thought it said stocks stink.
Stink?
That's where my mind went to, because it was a kind of a stinky week. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, which I know is your favorite index to call, lost.
Okay, wait. Now that you did it, I got to explain. The Dow Jones Industrial Average should be banned from every media outlet in America. No one should quote the Dow Jones Industrial Average because, folks, it's 30 stocks. Problem is, you all want it quoted because now it's become your benchmark. And so even I, who do morning news reports on Como, have to quote the stupid thing.
And it lost 5.7% last week, 1 week. By the way, if you lose 5.7% a week, how long until you run out of money?
Not very long. Like 18 weeks.
Okay, so this is not a trend we would like to see continue.
Yeah. Oh no. If that trend continues week after week, the world is over, and you won't be able to watch the Polka King if you don't get it in soon.
By the way, you won't be hearing from us much longer either if that trend continues. 5.7%. But okay, that sounds horrible.
Please put it in perspective for me.
Let's at
because
least...
I'm getting a little teary now.
You should. Since Don started doing the reports, the market has gone straight down. Let's just put it that way.
Thank you. Remind me of how it's my fault.
But for the year, all right, we're almost through one quarter of the year. If you were 100% in stocks, and very few of you are, almost none of you, but if you were... in a globally diversified stock portfolio.
Say, what kind of stocks?
Globally diversified, big companies, small, U.S., international, emerging markets, all those things. You are down a whopping 1.4% this year.
Oh, that's not so bad.
And if you have 60% of your money in that same globally diversified stock portfolio and 40% in bonds, you are down 0.8% this year. Are you worried? You shouldn't be.
Wow, that doesn't sound very painful at all.
No.
So okay, I'm a lot better now. I think that I can move forward with a hint of optimism, and we'll tell you why you should be optimistic, and we'll also tell you what you should do if you fear a bear market. 855-935-TALK is our phone number. That's 855-935-8255. We do want to help.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
If you're looking for a nice short podcast to tide you over between episodes of Talking Real Money, check out Money 30. Money 30 podcasts are between 2 and 4 minutes long, and they're available at every major podcast service, including Apple Podcasts, or you can visit money30.com.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
And you can talk about it with us at 855-935-8255, 855-935-TALK, just like the old-fashioned talk radio days, 855.
And so you promised, you said,
what did I promise?
If you know that a bear market is coming, what do you do?
Oh, yeah. Well, you actually make a fortune as the only person to ever accurately and consistently predict a bear market.
What about Harry Dent? Come on.
Oh, I love Harry Dent.
He has been out front on all this stuff, hasn't he?
Harry is always on the wrong side.
Oh, I forgot to mention that.
Harry has been saying since 2009 that we're going to have the next great depression, market crash, and prior to that, in just before the market went down, he was talking about how it was going to go way up. So Harry's always wrong. Here's the issue: you are never going to know that we are heading for a bear market. You just can't. No one will. It won't happen. So what should you do if you fear a bear market? Now, that's a different question entirely. What you should fear a bear market, they will happen. But what you should do if you fear a bear market is far different than trying to predict when we'll have a bear market. So what
this gets back.
I'm throwing it back to you. Well, what should you do if you fear a bear market?
The same thing I'm going to do when you're out of town for 3 weeks. I'm going to cry a lot. I'm going to curl up in the fetal position and go to a dark room, maybe put
it was rejoicing.
Towel on my forehead, something like that.
I don't believe a word of it.
Sniffle.
Don't believe a word of it. No, really. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the question. We get it all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, stocks are going to go down at some point, right? I cannot disagree with that. Yes, they will go down at some point.
Absolutely.
What do you do? What do you do to prepare for a bear? You can't run up a tree. They know how to climb.
They'll find you. I mean, this is true for and that we mentioned this slightly at the beginning of the program. Most of you need to have bonds in your portfolio.
Bonds.
And they've gone down this year too, by the way, because interest rates I just looked at the intermediate term bond funds down a little over 2%.
Mm-hmm.
And even the TIPS fund down a little over 2%. So bonds have had a tough time because guess what? Yields have gone up.
But having said that, if you're in short to intermediate term bonds, which is what you should be in, not long-term bonds, which are very volatile, very, very volatile, what will happen as your value falls over a short period of time as rates rise? The mutual fund is going out and buying new bonds at those higher rates. So as your value declines, your yield starts creeping up to the new higher levels. And over a long period of time, that has tended to work itself out.
Indeed, it has.
Where you get little or no gain, but it works out.
And I didn't mean to frighten people about bonds. Bonds should be the bedrock, the base of your portfolio, the money that's basically there day after day, while stocks are volatile, going up, going down, looking horrible one day, looking like world beaters the next day. That's the part of the portfolio that gives you the upward motion, while bonds are there day after day. Does that make sense?
Thank you for clearing that out.
You know a bear market is coming. You're right. It may have started last week.
I guarantee that.
Yeah, we don't know.
I don't know that it started last week. I don't know that this isn't that what we've seen in the past month or so isn't very much akin to what happened in both August of 2011 and August of 2015, which is the market went down some, scaring the living daylights out of people, and then it went up like mad, and everybody went, what decline?
And that's the reason many of you listening have not been in stocks since 2008. Many of you have been sitting in. There's $325 billion sitting in cash or savings accounts that the banks bless you for, because they take that money and then they invest it and make money on it while you're sitting in cash. So, no, cash is not a position and shouldn't be in your portfolio unless it is for short-term needs. We had a caller earlier today that was saying, I'm laid off, I got a certain amount of expenses, how much of my money should be in stocks? Well, in that case, you want to keep a lot in cash because you need to pay the bills with it. Otherwise, it should not be a position in a portfolio, because that's kind of a market timing thing. I'm sitting around, I'm waiting for the market to do X. And as Don just correctly pointed out, no one knows when the market is going to do X or Y or Z. Nobody knows.
But here's the reason why you want to allocate generally speaking, you want to more heavily allocate towards stocks than bonds. The reason is that no matter what happens in the shorter run, and that shorter run can be anything from a year to 5 or 6 years in the worst case scenarios we've ever seen, 75% of the time the market rises compared to, or has risen in the past compared to 25% of the
now,
time.
Now, is that on a day-to-day basis? I think a day-to-day basis, it's like 51 to 49.
But no, that's on a year-to-year basis.
Okay, yeah, because in the
that's
very
on
short
an annual
term,
to
and
annual
that's part
basis.
of the problem with today, because you get these guys who are on the air every day giving the stock report and scaring you. You wake up in the morning, you
mean
tune
me?
in. Oh, that's right. Oh, shoot, that's you now. Yeah, and
you know what? I don't want to do that anymore.
That was too easy.
I don't want to do it anymore.
I know we're making a joke, but that is one of the problems. Is it's so easy to find out moment by moment what's going on with the market, and that's the worst thing you can do is pay attention to this. I have said this before. Yes, I look at stock prices every day. Yes, for our clients, the money is being managed day to day. But in my portfolio, I look at the value every 6 months. That's it. Because to look at it more, a guy came in the office a couple months ago and said the first thing he does every morning is look at the account value of every one of his accounts. That will first thing. That will drive you insane. That is a poor practice. That leads you to want to do something. Because instead of having $100,000 that I had at the beginning of the year, oh my goodness, it's down to $98,000. I got to do something, Don. And that's what we see. That's when the trouble starts. So paying attention to this day to day is an exercise that will be costly for you. I promise.
Despite the apparent hypocrisy of me doing morning stock reports.
I'm really beating you up on this one today, I'll tell you.
Well, I do them because at least I can. The reason I do them is because I figured I can do them slightly more responsibly.
Well, that's true.
One of the things I do.
That's the same for my drinking problem, but that's a whole other thing, too.
One of the things I don't do is tell you, for example, this week, the Dow Jones industrial average dropped 1,400 points.
Yeah, that is so irresponsible because that makes it sound catastrophic.
Oh my gosh, it sounds like the end of the world. Because if we're older, our basis in the Dow is in the, like 3,000 or 4,000 range, not in the 23,000 or 4,000 range. And so we're still thinking about the days when the market would lose 200 points, and that would be 10%.
Now 1,400 is a much smaller.
Is 5%.
Yeah, of the numbers. So honestly, people shouldn't be using the points at all. Percentages much more reasonable.
And that's why at least I don't do that. And the other thing that I try to do in my reports
keep trying to defend yourself here.
I mention the Dow 30, but I always say it's 30 stocks. And
because
then
people wouldn't be able to tell from saying the Dow 30?
No. No, they could just think it was like 30 minutes after the Dow.
I see. Okay.
Oh, it's half past Dow.
Okay.
Look, it's Dow 40.
Whoa.
Growing.
Maybe Monday it'll be Dow 42 or something. Maybe
it'll be down.
So you explain. You say you spend more time explaining why the Dow Jones Industrial Average is pretty irrelevant in today's world,
and why, if you want a better glimpse of what the U.S. market is doing, on a market cap weighted basis, it is. It's more cap weighted. Look. Dow Jones or the S&P Total Market Index. There you go.
And that gives you a more accurate reflection.
Gives you a more accurate picture. And if you look at that, the Dow 30 was down 5.7. The S&P Total Market was down 5.2.
You saved us 0.5% there. Thank you. Wow.
My pleasure. Glad to be of service.
And we haven't mentioned our phone number like forever.
855-935-TALK. 85.
And you're bouncing around like the market did last week. 855-935-8255. And we'll...
Am I having trouble with my connection?
Yeah, you're sounding kind of odd. So we'll be glad to talk to you about anything.
Talk for a minute, and I'm going to redial.
Yeah, we are happy to talk to you about anything around the money aspect of your life. And let me explain that we've both been doing this for a very long time. So while we don't have all the answers, in fact, I gave a talk last week and someone was asking me about the specifics of the Tax Act that recently passed, and I really have not focused on that, and I really had a couple of places where I could not answer at all. The fact is, we can give you advice that really will help you, again, whether it comes to your 401k, your IRAs, or anything else.
The Tax Act.
What about?
What did they want to know about the Tax Act?
What was it? It was some obscure, I can't even remember now. There were two questions, and I had to say, I don't know. I literally do not know. So,
but that's one of the things that you'll find probably sets us apart from a lot of the other people is that if we say we don't know and we'll find out if we can. If you ask us one of those questions like, what's the market going to do? Yeah. We're going to tell you we don't know, and there's no way we're ever going to find out.
Until after it happens.
Well, then that's not finding out before. Okay. That's finding out after.
I guess you're
Fix
right.
my line?
You're still you sound like you're glitchy. I don't know, some odd sound.
Yeah, I am. There's a little internet noise or something. Just so all of you know that the reason I'm sounding glitchy right now is because I'm in Florida, connected over the internet, and for some reason the internet every once in a while misbehaves.
I think it's in Atlanta too, by the way. I looked into this, and that's usually where the problem starts.
How do you know that?
Just one of those things I know.
You just made that up. You've totally made that up.
I can tell you the number
I'm sitting here telling people how honest we're going to be, and then you making stuff up.
I can tell you that the number that they made 18,924 B-24s in World War II. How about that?
And I'm confident you didn't make that up.
Now,
because for some reason, when it comes to World War II aircraft, no one on the planet knows more about them than you.
Still living. That's a different matter.
Still
of course.
Living. Yeah, that's true. The old guys are gone. You're carrying the torch for them.
There you go.
So, coming soon to Apple Podcasts, we'll have the Tom's Aircraft of World War II podcast.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
All right, let's get this break out of the way really quickly. If you're looking for an investment advisor, you need a fee-only, 100% fiduciary, low-cost, science-based advisor. And that describes Vestory. If you'd like to learn more about us, it's really easy. Go to vestory.com, vestory.com, or give us a call at 800-386-3004, 800-386-3004. There, that wasn't so bad.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
All right, I made all that stuff up about the internet. We really don't pipe the show to you through the internet. We actually send it through a literal hose. I just speak into a hose. And what happens when Tom is feeling feisty, he steps on the hose. Like you step on a water hose.
Yeah, and I knew people were going to blame me for this somehow, so I guess I'll accept.
Well, you blamed me for the market going down.
It's just a weird coincidence.
On Friday.
You start doing reports, and all of a sudden the market tanks.
Excuse me. May I defend myself? On Friday, this guy calls me, FaceTimes me, and he goes, "You're fired." I said, "What did I do now?" He goes, "You caused the market to go down." It wasn't my fault. Okay, I'll take responsibility.
Can you document that it wasn't your fault? Yeah. I mean, it's a weird coincidence.
So, therefore, I think, as is the case now in the United States of America, guilty until proven innocent.
Oh, and I was wrong because I knew somebody would call. I just checked. It was 19,256.
Did you get a World War II number wrong?
I know. I thought I was right. I thought it was 18. Anyway, so 19,256, the most mass-produced plane of World War II. That part I got right.
Which one was it?
The B-24.
B-24?
Yeah. No, more B-24s were made than any other plane in World War II.
There were a lot of them. But how many got shot down?
Almost 20,000. A lot. They moved along rather slowly, so people.
Here's a number that I'm 100% confident in.
So I got that one wrong. Sorry.
855-935-8255. That number, I am 100% confident, will bring you to this program and get you an answer.
This is a good day to call because normally we get a lot of calls.
Yeah, last week it was like, whoa.
Yeah, so call now.
And then this week it's
answered.
And you can call that almost any time. As a matter of fact, we'll probably start using some of those on podcasts. We'll let you know when. Because we've got Talking Real Money. This show becomes a podcast every week. We turn it now, the Como Show and this one, into 3 podcasts every week. 3 Talking Real Money podcasts. And now every day, I create a podcast called Money 30, which is short bits of money advice and information between 2.5 and 4 minutes long.
And apparently people like that format, and they like you.
I am the number 43 right now. The number 43
with a bullet
investing podcast. I'm not in the top 40 right now, but I'm number 43 in the Apple podcast list right now. I just looked it up. A ton of scammers are beating the tar out of me. We got 2 crooks who sell a system to build a business on Amazon, full of fake reviews and things. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 real estate systems. Man,
God
everybody's got a making money in real estate system, don't they?
Yeah.
And
I do. I just buy and hold for a long period of time.
Yeah, and
I'm going to make a little more than inflation. Yeah.
In parts of the country, that didn't even work.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's not 100%. And then you got all of the market timers, and you got guys like there's Jim Cramer. He's up there.
Well, he's got a TV show to promote it. That's pretty good.
Yeah, you got the Motley Fools. They got 2 podcasts that are in the top 40,
Makes
45.
Sense. Yeah.
Top 50. Jean Chatzky's there. She's at number 50.
Oh, good old Jean. You
like Jean.
I do. I had her on television, but we could move up. We found out how we could do it. Maybe we should start a GoFundMe page.
We did.
To raise the money.
Everything. It seems that everything is gamed these days. That there is a game, there is a system for beating the system almost everywhere you turn. There is a company that called me last week. They said, "Oh, Don, I see you have a podcast." I said, "I have a couple of them." "Well, how would you like to move up to near number 1? How'd you like to be in the top 10 Apple podcasts?" I said, "That'd be great.
Sign us up."
"That'd be great. How do I do that?" "Well, we have these complex algorithms." They were going through all this stuff, and I said, and they had 2 guys on the line. They always do the team up. They had the CEO, which would make me feel important. They only have 15 clients, okay? They have 15 clients. But at what they charge, 15 clients is a lot. So I said, "No, wait, hold on. Don't give me all that. Tell me what it costs." "Oh, you want to know what it costs?" "Yes." "Well, the ROI is extraordinary." No. I don't want to know what the ROI is.
How much is the guarantee, man?
How much does it cost me? All right, if you want to know. It's okay, the ROI is money. "Well, to be in the top 50, we guarantee you'll be in the top 50
yes,
for $5,000 a month."
That's it?
Top 50.
Okay,
I'm in the top 50.
Well, no, but here's an idea. Next week, we'll record one where we just say, blah, 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 855-935-8255, blah, 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 and see if that goes in the top 50.
You want to pay them $5,000?
Just to see if that works. Because then it would turn into a total...
You do not want to pay them $5,000.
You could expose them as a complete fraud then.
Do you have $5,000 to blow?
Not like that.
No. So it was $5,000 for the top 50, $7,500 for the top 40.
And
to be in the top 10, a bargain at a mere $15,000 a month.
And you move right up. And this is how some of these scammers who sell the products on Amazon move way up quickly.
Or on these podcasts that sell the Amazon systems move up quickly. They buy their way to the top because these guys are selling a system.
Yeah.
To sell product on Amazon that costs about $15,000 or $20,000.
And this is a very sophisticated system where apparently you go overseas and you buy goods relatively inexpensively. Then you bring them back here and you sell them at Amazon. Now, whoever would have thought of that? Wow.
Everyone.
That's creative. That is cutting edge.
Well, a lot of people don't like them.
Sorry.
There's all these scam reports online.
Yeah.
That nail these guys. The leader of one of them is a guy by the name of Matthew Beju.
He's all over. His fingerprints are everywhere.
I got to tell you. And he's got blogs and videos and these podcasts and it's a numbers game with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
They
doesn't care.
Everybody should. It is a scam, folks.
It doesn't matter because they get enough
fake.
people. They get enough people. When you get that many people to listen, you get enough people that'll buy the system. That's all that matters. And then when that one gets bumped, they just go to a new one and start all over again.
I interviewed really one of them. I interviewed Matt Beju's one.
You did?
And I titled it Walking Dead.
How'd that go over?
I don't know. I said Matt Beju must be a zombie. Apple kills his podcast and then it rises from the dead. He's gamed the system. They actually do. People report him as a scam. They shut it down.
Yep.
And then he makes a new name and puts it back up.
And this is, by the way, there was a great piece in the Wall Street Journal a month or two ago talking about digital advertising. Oh. And how difficult it is because there are so many people out there that you can pay them to do exactly what you just said, to scam the system. Mm-hmm. And then they get your advertising, but whatever it is, and then they scam you out of, you're going to get 8,000 downloads and 14 million hits, blah, 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 when they have their friends and neighbors doing it and have no interest in your product. So this has been one of the problems with digital advertising, is really hard to know what you're actually getting.
I won't do it.
Yeah,
I just won't do it because... For example, I'll give you an example. I had an antique map business, and I would buy Google AdWords. Mm-hmm. I would buy my way up to the top of certain categories. Now, this would cost between probably 50 cents and $1.50 every time someone clicked. But what I knew was happening, and I couldn't prove it, was that what my competitors are clicking.
Yeah,
just to run up my bill.
Yep, that's right.
I ran how much I spent versus how much I made. We were making good money, but what I was spending was ridiculous. Google would send me presents because I was spending six figures in advertising. I spent $100,000 and I got a towel.
Yeah, well, okay. Is it a nice towel?
It's a beach towel.
Okay, all right. Well, Is it nice and soft? And
it says Google.
Yeah, well, that's fairly unique.
Yeah. Then they sent things like a flash drive.
I see.
Like an 8 megabyte flash drive.
And if you don't mind downloading the remaining Bitcoin on there and sending it off to them to pay for the next flight.
Oh, there's another scam.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, all of you crypto crazies out there. I'm gonna burst your bloody bubble. This crypto thing, there are over 100 new crypto coin offerings every week.
Every week?
In this country.
100 new, so 400 a month, 5,000 a year?
There are thousands, but not all of them are legitimate.
No.
As a matter of fact, I'd be willing to bet that all of them, in one way, shape, or form, are illegitimate. And that's backed up by a lot of the facts. The SEC is looking into a lot of these now, these initial coin offerings.
I keep waiting for a big announcement from them about all
There's going to be a big bust one of these days. They've already, so far, I think it was just last year, trying to remember the exact time frame, but $5 billion was stolen from Bitcoin exchanges.
Yeah.
Individuals are getting ripped off for their Bitcoins all the time. It turns out there's even a hacker who says he can break the Bitcoin encryption and steal your Bitcoin.
Yeah, I did read that. Yep.
Your Bitcoin code, whatever that thing is, your algorithm. So what makes anyone, the only argument I hear for cryptocurrencies, the only argument I hear people making for cryptos is they are anonymous.
Now,
do you need to buy a sub anonymously?
That's usually criminals Jared, or something. Yeah,
I mean, Jared's not allowed to buy anymore at Subway, so he could be tracked. So he uses Bitcoin.
Got it. Yeah, I see. Get it because there are like Jared. 2 Subways that you can use Bitcoin for. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
And every time you buy a sub sandwich, you create a capital gains event that you have to report to the IRS.
Good luck.
855-935-TALK is our number, 855-935-8255. Give us a call. We got some time left to help you out.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
We mentioned 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255 throughout the podcast. But you need to know that you can call that number 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Leave your question, and those will be answered in special Talking Real Money podcasts that will appear on this particular site in the future. So give us a call, 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
855-935-TALK is our phone number, 855-935-8255. We've been talking about podcasts today a little bit. Tom, you're going to be glad to know that the Talking Real Money podcast,
yes,
just minutes ago, soared past Market Wrap with Mo Ansari.
Oh, all right, we're laughing because we have some history with old Mo.
Hey,
Mighty
and
Mo.
we are within 4 places of Consuelo Mac.
Okay, now when I first got to know Mo, I think it was on the Business Radio Network, wasn't it? Going way back.
Yes, it was.
And he was doing like, I want to say commodities or something?
With a lot of rhetoric and only $3 billion in tariffs in response. I mean, their initial response hasn't included soybeans and a lot of
Mo
I just said something about commodities.
Mo is the guy who called us hold and hopers.
That's right. Yeah.
We're the hold and hopers. And he doesn't believe in hold and hope. He believes in beating the market. He is, wait a minute, hold on.
Has to be pre-planned or defined. Say, okay, my exit strategy is I'm buying something at 100. If it goes down to 90, I'll get out. So I'll take a 10% loss. But now the profit target should be 120 or higher. That your profit target should be...
He's a market timer.
Yeah. Well, and by the way, the 10% is very popular because we just heard from another podcaster today who said 10% is nothing.
Right.
So 10%. Okay, there you go.
But, here's the problem. Is I was joking about us passing him.
Yeah.
But that is such a terrible sounding show.
It's a good point.
That it's kind of sad.
Yeah, but he's on a bunch of stations. He's all over the place. He can promote himself.
He is. He pays a fortune to be on radio stations all over the country.
I think he's still quite a bit in the Southwest, among other. I don't know all of them, but he's out there. And if you really want to overpay, I think he charges 2% for his...
he charges 2% for his timing services.
There you go. So.
Yes, he does. Oh, let's see. Oh, here's a list of his radio stations.
Was he out of the market last week to save you?
I don't know. There's no way to know.
Oh, okay. He doesn't.
Oh no, he's only on 5 stations now.
Okay. Yeah, it's come down quite a bit. So
he's on KFNN in Phoenix, the Palm Springs station.
Yeah, same owner.
Some of Salem's stations in San Francisco and the Bay Area.
Smaller signals.
And in Dallas.
Wow.
Dallas, Texas. Since 1989.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Mo, 89? Really?
I think that's about right, yeah.
Huh. He wasn't on Business Radio Network with me in 89.
I think he was on there.
On something else.
Yeah, okay. I
really?
remember. Yeah,
was he hiding there somewhere and I missed him?
I think he was, and you weren't paying attention at that moment.
In 1989, I was doing 30 hours of radio a week. I was doing 5 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
When I visited you in Colorado
it was
Springs
after that. See,
in
89, I was doing the night shift.
I visited you in 92 in Colorado Springs.
In 89, I was on from 11p to 4a Eastern.
God, that is a long haul.
That was a long shift.
Yeah.
That was a long shift.
Wow.
And my first few shows, you're going to take you behind the scenes.
Yeah.
The early days of financial talk radio.
Uh-huh.
My first show on Business Radio Network was broadcast live to Leadville, Colorado.
That was it.
That was it. Leadville, Colorado is a small town, 10,000 feet. Used to be a big mining town in the 1800s. Now I think maybe 1,000 people live in the Leadville metropolitan area. They're outnumbered by elk. And
so they weren't all tuned in, is what you're saying.
Nope. So I spent 5 hours talking to myself.
How'd that go?
Thank God I can talk for a very long time.
Do you have a tape of that one? Come on.
I don't know. I have so many tapes.
You have a lot of audio, yeah.
I have so many tapes. I don't know if I have that. I've got tapes. I've got mini discs over there.
Can I make a little suggestion here?
Yeah.
In honor of your children?
Yeah.
Please clean up a lot of those before you get old.
I didn't say anything bad on them.
No, it's not that. It's just, then you leave that to somebody else.
I want them to listen to them. I want them to sit down and listen to every hour of their father.
I have emptied out a lot of audio and most of the video. I'm down to I'm gonna have a file somewhere of all the TV work that runs about an hour. That's it.
You gave up all the TV video.
I gave up all that stuff because it's unfair.
How about the shows that had Don McDonald on them?
I have that show. You're still
we
there.
did two.
Yep, I only have the one. I don't know what happened to the other one.
We did two. You lost the other one?
I kept the good one.
Oh, they were both good.
They were not.
They were great.
Yeah, all right.
They were something special.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I like about this show. This one over here on KVI.
Yeah.
Because we can just...
On and on.
It
doesn't seem to matter a whole lot.
No. 855-935-TALK, though. That's the phone number to call. Oh, I would like to do... Speaking of podcasts, though...
which we have been, yeah.
I want to bribe people because I'm not asking for a good review. I'm just asking for a review.
$15,000?
No, I just want a review.
Okay.
If you go and listen to money30.com or talkingrealmoney.com, either one, and you review it and you send us a note via talkingrealmoney.com, through the contact form there. Tell me you did. I'll go look at it, and I'll send you a free 2-year subscription to Real Investing Journal, the only magazine about real investing.
Now, what happens when they find out you bribe people that way?
They don't care. I didn't tell them what kind.
Oh, you didn't say give me 5 stars.
I didn't say give me a good one or a bad one. I don't care whether it's a good one or a bad one. Well, I will care. It will make me sad, but it's not contingent upon that. My mental health is not your concern. Don't worry. I'll be fine.
That's a bigger issue that you should not have to face. True.
I know. So anyway, I thought that was a good idea.
That's a great idea.
And if you want to get Real Investing Journal, and it is available, it's a very reasonable magazine that's about nothing but investing. There's nothing in there about business. There's nothing about speculation other than to say don't do it. And there's certainly no lifestyle stuff. Real Investing Journal's published quarterly. The next issue comes out in April. And you can get 8 issues, 2 years worth of Real Investing Journal for just $25 if you go to realinvestingjournal.com, or you can read lots of it there for absolutely free for nothing.
You have any other shameless plugs you want to throw in the last 4 minutes here?
Let's see. What
While
else
you're at it,
can I plug?
Is there anything?
You go to talkingrealmoney.com.
You mentioned the map thing. You want to throw that in there?
No, I'm not doing that one.
Okay.
Pizza. Pizza. Pompeii pizza. Excellent pizza. Okay. Wood fired, 900 degrees.
That's true.
Ooh, is that good pizza? Money30, money30.com, or through Apple Podcasts or all the other podcast services. There's 401411.com.
Actually, there's a lot of value there.
Yeah,
not that the other ones aren't, but there's a lot of value there.
No, but if you're looking for, you're trying to get the better allocation for your 401k plan, we've looked at a lot of them in the Puget Sound region, and have given you some direction as to how you might want to do that.
We show you which funds to use and what percentages.
That we think you should use. Mm-hmm. And then, if you don't see yours there, you can send it in to us, and Tom actually does this. You do them now, don't you?
Yeah, and you know what? The human nature being what it is, we have a call. We want to try and get him on here the last couple of minutes. That's just the way life works, right?
Sure, we've got minutes.
All right.
We've got minutes left.
Let's go to Roger then, who joins us now on Talking Real Money. Hi, Roger.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Hey.
I went to Vestry on Apple Store, and I couldn't see your podcast.
That's because it's Talking Real Money.
It's Talking Real Money or Money 30. Vestry's not. We don't have a Vestry podcast, really.
Okay, so Talking Real Money. Okay, well, that's helpful. Okay,
Talking Real Money
that.
or Money 30. Those are the two podcasts.
Okay. Sorry, I missed that earlier. Okay, well,
that's okay. So or look up Don McDonald too. That works too. I think.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to look me up and see if I come up. Don McDonald. Come on. Oh, look, there it is. First two things. When you type in Don McDonald, you get Money 30 or Talking Real Money.
Oh,
let's put in Tom Cock and let's see if you get
see what sort of
sound?
podcast show up under that name.
Hold on. I'm going to see what happens. Just Talking Real Money.
Okay, hard enough.
But you're first. You're first. It's you and then the Nerd Files. Honest to goodness.
That does not surprise me in one
bit.
I
have to take a screenshot of that. Tom and the Nerd Files side by side.
Oh, I love it.
That just made my whole weekend.
I kind of figured it did after I've been beating you up for 3 hours. I had that coming.
You more than had that coming.
Definitely. I admit it.
So what's your prediction for stocks next week?
You know, they're going to go up, they're going to go down, or they're going to go sideways. I am positive of that.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. You were doing really well.
Yeah.
You got 2/3 of the answer right.
Uh-oh.
They're going to go up or they're going to go down. I have never, ever, ever seen the entire market go sideways.
Oh,
ever.
for a whole week. That's true.
No, I mean, even for a day, I've never seen the whole market go sideways.
Okay, the whole,
you may have the
all
blue
the
chips up.
True.
And,
no. Okay. All right.
Do you know how, I wonder what the odds are of every stock, 15,000 stocks, being on average, you average them all out, absolutely flat. I can see it with 30. Boy, I can't see it with 15,000.
see one scenario where that would happen. That's the post-asteroid market. Nothing moves.
Good point.
You either, by the way.
Yeah, not a thing.
Thank you for listening.
Call the number.
Yeah.
855-935-8255, 855-935-TALK. Leave questions anytime.
Tom and Don are talking real money. We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for educational and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times. Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately, consistently predict the future. So past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring. Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Vestry, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Thanks for listening, and please visit talkingrealmoney.com for more information and disclosures. That should keep the lawyers happy.